Yo, what's going on, guys? My name is Zach here, and if you can't tell, we don't have funds this week, so we have to kind of make what's due or whatever. And so we had Snake use the soundboard and play the intro. I know it's not as the same. We're so sad. But anyways, we're back. Snake is the honorary co-host this week because Funsley's gone. And then we got Kris Letang, the CHL Panelist. And then we got the CHL Media Liason as our special guest. What's going on, Rushpac?
What's up, guys?
Alright, so on to the first topic, how our weeks went. Go ahead, Rushpac. How does your week go?
One of our better weeks, but unfortunately I think it's going to come a little too late. For those who don't know, I am on the Iowa Wild of the AHL.
Same.
Yeah, we'll get to you in 11th overall in the West, which puts us 10 points out of a playoff spot, even though we're coming off a 5-3-1 week, which, like I said, is actually our best week of the season. Personally, I had my first multi-win week at 2-0-1. No points, but a +6 and 9 what I like to call smart hits. So, like the rest of the team, maybe a little too good, too late, but we gave ourselves something to play for the last week.
All right, go ahead, Kris Letang. How did your week go this week?
My week went all right, I guess. Not too. Yeah.
Horrible. Oh, sorry.
Good. Exactly. Terrible. It didn't go good. Yeah. So, not really much to talk about there. Not really. That's just a train. That's just a train going nowhere.
Snake, how'd your week go?
We had an okay week. I mean, personally, I had a rough week. I had 2 dental surgeries this week, so it's been a little bit rough. I'm a little swollen, as everyone can see. But as a team, we did okay this week. A couple of big wins. A close game on Thursday night against North Bay. That was a good game. But Zach will get into that later. Good week.
So my week went pretty good. If you don't know, I got called up this week. I'm on the regular roster. I know, what is Snake doing? I don't know either. But so the first game I played, which is the reason why I got called up, I scored 2 goals against Saginaw. One of those goals being the game winner, so that's why I got called up. And the second game I played at Erie, and I produced nothing. The whole line, we were just not clicking at all. It was horrible. And my last game was against North Bay's first line, and I scored 2 assists, and we lost by 2 points. So it's not that bad. I was 1-2-2. Probably could have won that Erie game, but it's just whatever. So moving on to the next topic, we have our interview with Rushpac. He's a new media liaison, and I'm going to go throw it over to Snake with the first question.
Yeah, Rushpac, I wanted to know, I know some of our viewers asked me if I could explain it to them, so I'm asking you the question, what exactly is the CHL Media Liaison?
That's a fair question. For the most part, it's pretty hands-off. Basically, what my role is to just make sure that things stay organized for the purpose of promoting all the media, both on-site and off the site. So part of that, there's a media forum where we just kind of archive everything you guys do so that the links are right there for anyone who's handling the social media. Can just go right in and grab the link without having to search the forums. And other than that, it's basically just to watch your guys back. And no one's. Well, I mean, I know I just kind of took over the CHL gig again recently, but if you guys ever have any problems, if anyone's ever, giving you guys issues, that's what I'm here for. That's what F5's here for, to kind of handle that, so you guys can just keep doing what you're doing.
Cool. So my follow-up question to that is, I know that you're taking on the position for 2 seasons at least. You said that you're going to do it next season as well. So what do you have planned to improve media and get it more promoted?
It's something I have to really get together with F5, with Big 50, and eventually Tris, because I still don't know what the Xbox One's going to hold for us as far as media.
Right.
We're very excited about some of the possibilities. We're probably going to have a season of learning curves of what we can do, what we can't do. Personally, I haven't seen a lot of what the new League Gaming site's going to look like, so I'm still kind of in the dark on that too. So until I get a better look at that, it's going to be tough for me to put any new things in place. But I mean, my goal going forward is really just, and it should have been my goal all along. I apologize for slacking a little bit, but it's going to be promotion, promotion, promotion. There's no reason that you guys can't be getting, quadruple the views of what you're already getting. So.
That'd be great.
So is there anything else you guys want to ask Rushpac before we move on to the next topic?
Yeah, here, I have a question for him. Rush, I know it's hard for some of us, like with Snake being a GM and, happen to maintain being a player and then doing the show and still working real life. So my question is, how do you manage all this? You play in the AHL, you said. I'm pretty sure you have other stuff outside of doing this, and you have the media liaison that you do. How do you, manage all of it,
It's like you said, the key word is management, and I always hate to go to this, I can't think of the word, but being older, I'm married, I have 2 kids, I work, I've worked while going to school, so, all my life I've learned how to time manage, and it just comes down to knowing what you can take on and what you can't take on, and we've seen media guys in the past come in very excited, really wanting to contribute, and then just finding out that, hey, I really don't have the time to do as much as I wanted to. And if that's the case, we want to try to work with these people rather than just have them bail completely, which unfortunately has happened in the past where shows come, they disappear, power rankings come, they disappear. We get it. Season 4 of CHL, which would have been last summer season, I wasn't doing a lot of this media, but I was doing power rankings with Powder P. And, towards the end of the season, I told him, I said, look, let me take on the role of editing these things because at the time they were just kind of going up as is. And, as a professional writer, the grammar mistakes and everything were kind of driving me crazy. So I said, look, let me take, let me look at these before they get posted, have them sent directly to me. And that's when I learned that how widespread I was getting these things. You have them to me Friday by 8. Well, of course, you're getting a bunch of them Saturday morning. You're getting some of them Saturday night. Just because, hey, look, I'm sorry, something came up, whether it's the younger guys, hey, I had a party, or, I went out with my friends, and that's fine. None of you are getting paid to do this. It's all volunteer. It's volunteer from the top to the bottom. So
it's for the community.
Exactly. And, one of the things that drew me to League Gaming, almost 2 years ago, on top of just the idea of organized competitive sixes was, I think at the time there was an AHL magazine, it might have even been a CHL magazine, there were a couple CHL shows, I think it was Breck, Golden Aces,
yeah, they were doing, like what you said, you brought me back to at this point, last year, not last season, but last year, where Powder P was the media liaison. They had that show around the CHL. That's what that was based on. And then they had overtime. You brought me back to that was the ideal season of CHL Media. They had 2 shows. It was power rankings work, and they had it was all organized. It was great. I want us to go back to that, and I feel like maybe we can get that together.
Yeah, I hope so. And we've heard the numbers come up from Brody, Tris, and Ozzy and all them that they're, we just hit, I think recently, with all the late signups, I think 2,000 total.
Imagine what that's going to be in 16, goodness.
And, we're realistically planning on 4,000 members. If we don't hit the 4,000 mark for the first season on NHL 16, I think we're going to come under what we're expecting. That's 2,000 more people that might want to do media. If 20 of those guys want to do media, that's, we're already quadrupling what we have. So
yeah.
So on to our next topic. You mentioned NHL 16. This a few days ago we started getting a glimpse at what this is going to look like. The CHL beta was released, and it goes until the 6th, I think. So there's still a lot of time to look at it, give feedback. But yeah, I think Snake had like a whole review planned out for this beta. So what do you got? What do you got, Snake?
I had the opportunity to play it from several different positions. From a goalie standpoint, from pretty much any position standpoint, visually the game is amazing. They've improved almost every aspect from the arena to the ice itself.
Right. And the penalty box.
Yeah, well, you would know, right, Zach?
Right. Yeah.
But I mean, visually, it's great. As far as the gameplay is concerned, from a goalie standpoint, I really liked it. Even with the new controls, which take a little bit of time, I think the positioning is much more realistic and easier to play than 15. But for a skater, I found though the controls are the same, the puck reception, puck control was a little bit off. The AI's improved in terms of puck movement, but it has not improved. Yeah, the puck movement, like for example, you can call for a pass from the other side of the boards. They will pass around the net and behind the boards. It's perfect. The problem is they all skate through the middle of the ice. They all funnel in the middle of the ice.
Awesome.
And so it's, yeah, I got caught on a point man last night trying to skate into the offensive zone and literally got stuck on the back of the point man and couldn't get into the play. So that there's some minor things that need to be fixed. I mean, it's a lot less arcadey than the NHLs that we're all used to, so that's going to be really fun to play. A lot of blocked shots, less scoring opportunities.
Yeah.
You will not be able to force the cross crease all day in NHL 16, and that's a plus.
Yeah,
a lot of goals are a lot of goals are scored from the point. A lot of goals are it's hockey plays. It's not the simple skate down the ice, cross crease, it's in the net.
Yeah.
So that's fun. It's gonna make it real hockey for sixes.
And like you said, it's gonna be like amazing for LG. Like imagine the possibilities. The beta is good, but I feel like they improved passing because it actually requires you to aim towards the player, not just in the general vicinity of that player. And I do like the goal controls, but I think it's kind of twitchy. They could fix that. So, Kris Letang, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, just for the people who don't have the Xbox One yet, Snake, do you want to explain how you got to play the beta of NHL 16 for those who don't know?
The way I did it was my AGM got it through the way most people usually do. I just went to his games on his profile on the one, listed his top games, clicked on NHL 16, download the beta. And, I actually downloaded while I went to the dentist. And I came home, the beta was downloaded, it worked perfect.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing in itself. Like, they said that you had to have NHL 15 on the 1 or the 360. But
I don't.
At this point, anyone can get it. Anyone can get the game. They can just go to the shop, look it up. You can get it for free. Anyone can get it.
Yeah, well, I had early access, so that's how I was able to get
True.
it. I don't have 15 on the 1, but yeah, now anyone can have it. So there should be more people playing, more clubs getting in there.
Yep.
I would like to say, I don't know, Kris, if you noticed, but from a manager standpoint, the stats are going to be impossible to plug in.
But then again, it is a beta. Things could change.
Yeah, the way it's laid out right now, though, it's going to be really complicated to do it that way. The pictures are going to take a lot to get used to,
But I think there's plans on the media, like administration standpoint, where they're going to change the OCR to where you take snapshots through the system of the Xbox. I don't know how. I think there's going to be like an LG app where you take those snapshots, go to the LG app on the Xbox One, and do it that way. Because we have the ID partnership, so we might be able to get the apps. You know what I mean? So that would be great. So
great.
Yeah,
and that's an issue that came up with the LG FA when that got started. We had an idea of trying to collect as many steps as possible it's goals, assists, there's passes completed, there's tackles, there's yellow cards, there's red cards. So what our suggestion ended up becoming was just record the video game clip. Not necessarily take the snapshots, but if you just, Xbox record this, or, I double tap an X, it grabs the last 30 seconds. All the stats are right there. You can go back and take pictures if they're still going to do it that way, because you'll have the video saved. The videos, I think, get uploaded right to the game. So I'm under the impression that the stat inputting will probably be different for NHL 16. It won't just be straight up pictures, but I don't know that for sure.
Okay, so moving on to our next topic, train wrecks. Snake with his new soundboard. All right, so Rushpac, you're new to this. We're gonna put you on the spotlight. What's your train wreck of the week?
I looked at it a couple hours before the show, and I got to go with Kingston.
I'll do it. It's all right. I was gonna.
So, but I looked at it. Kingston got off to a very good start the first 2 weeks.
Look at his face.
But 3 wins the last 2 weeks, including 1 win last week. Now I did look. I will give Kingston credit. They had a lot of tough games. They played first place teams, second place teams across the board. But if you're going to make a deep playoff run, these are teams you're going to have to eventually be able to beat.
Correct. That is very true.
So, they weren't able to grab any sort of quote-unquote mental edge this week. They did lose to Windsor, which is below them in the standings. That's, if you're gonna run the gauntlet like that during that week, you've got to win the games against Windsor, and hope to steal some other games. So, unfortunately, that's gonna have to be my train wreck of the week.
All right, Kris Letang, you said that you're gonna pick your own team.
Yes, Rush, you bumped heads with me this one. I was gonna actually pick my own team this week for the train wreck. Like he said, we've been struggling. We have. Our first 2 weeks were really good. This last week, I'll kind of give us a cut of benefit of the doubt. We did pick up some new players, new forwards, new defense, new goalies. One of our goalies returned, Crazy Quebecki. We lost him after preseason. Had a phenomenal preseason. So we're looking to come back up. But right now it hasn't been the best. It hasn't been the best 2 weeks. This week is actually going to probably, out of my opinion, is going to be our hardest week. We play Belleville, Saginaw, Erie, Niagara.
Yeah, buddy.
The game's always tough for me. Come on now.
We're coming for you.
We play some hard teams this week. We play Oshawa, Ottawa. We play a lot of hard teams this week. So I feel like this week is going to be the testing week, whether we should be in playoffs or we shouldn't be. And I think a lot of the guys are going to, step up to the challenge and definitely.
That Niagara game's going to be even tougher, even if I'm playing. I mean, come on now.
Yeah, if Zach's playing, we'll make sure we put everyone that hasn't played a game this whole season in.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's official.
And still win.
I think it's official. I think it's official. The Kingston Frontenacs are the first team to be mentioned twice by train wrecks of the week. So there you go, Kris Letang. You got it.
So.
All right, Snake. What's a train wreck of the week?
I'm gonna go. Mine's a little more mainstream, but it's hard not to talk about this team. I'm gonna go with the Barrie Colts.
Dude, come on, man.
I know it's mainstream, but there's a reason for this. I know there's some stuff going on behind the scenes. I don't want to go too much into it. But I know they have one of their players organizing mostly everything right now. They're late showing to games. They're organizing scrimmages that they're not showing up to. It's just.
They made us wait. Hold on. I was gonna be in a scrimmage against them on Niagara. I then got a message from my AHL GM saying that they needed a defenseman. So I went and played defense, which I got an assist, but we lost. I was horrible at defense. But and then when I got back from the 30-minute or so game that I had in the AHL, the game still wasn't started. It wasn't like they made us wait like 45 minutes and they didn't even show up. So we just left and stuff. So
Yeah, we went and played beta.
Yeah, we went to play the beta. Yep, that's right.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wasted our beta playing time, man.
Yeah, I definitely had to go with Barry. I know there's a lot more stuff going on behind the scenes that I won't get into too much, but it's the pure definition of a train wreck right now.
Snake, I'm starting to hate that soundboard, man.
Hey, can we make Zach an honorary train wreck too for his AHL performance?
No, but I got an assist on defense though. Come on. I got an assist on defense. Like, come on.
Yeah, listen, you'll never see me hate on an ECU who steps up and basically prevents a forfeit. So
yeah, no,
it's all in good fun.
Good.
But you were also a -4, so.
Ouch.
That's not just me though. That's not just me playing in that game. Just so you know that.
You know, Zach, defense is supposed to keep the other team from scoring, right? That's the point of defense.
So is the goalie. Just throwing it out there.
Oh, shots fired.
On to my train wreck. What the heck, dude? Stop. Okay, on to my train wreck. The G Storm. Last 10, they're 4-5-1. They are 13-20, and I think they've gone down a bit since I think they were like 6 or something a few weeks ago, and now they're at 8. They're close. They're almost. They're at the same points as Windsor, but the only reason why they're not there, they're not in Windsor's position, is because they don't have as many losses as them. So you could see this team not making the playoffs. I see it happening if Windsor can get a few games and G Storm can't. I feel like this is a team.
They also have a game that hasn't entered stats because most of the others are at 36. They're only at 35 games played.
Right, so like I was saying, I think this is a team that if Windsor can win some games and they can get G Storm to lose a few, that they may fall down in the rankings. So on to our next topic. We're actually going to go through each team this week because Funsley isn't here to complain about that. So we're going to go ahead and start the Berry Colts. Obviously, they're one of our train wrecks this week. 18 points, 8-26-2. I'm just going to sum up every single person who's going to comment. They're bad. All right, on to the next team. The 67s. They got 25 points, 11-22-3. So what do you guys think of this team? We were going to have Ryder, their old GM, on, but he didn't show. He had his inbox full. So what do you guys think of the Autumn 67s?
I mean, their players are trying, but they've got a hell of a hole to dig themselves out of. At only 25 points this season, they're not. I don't know if they're going to be able to catch up with Kingston. Sorry, Kris, but I don't think they're going to be able to catch up with Kingston in 8th. And I mean, their management. I know there's a little bit of trouble there with their management, just in terms of being able to get in touch with them, which is, just a basic part of being a GM is to be able to be reached. So that's not helping them either. I don't think they're gonna be able to make playoffs.
Yeah, I mentioned them on my train wrecks for a reason a few weeks ago. I didn't mention them again because I know that they're gonna stay there probably the entire season. They're not gonna make playoffs. I can almost guarantee you that. The East is such a powerful conference. Even if they make the playoffs, like even if they somehow manage to overtake the Frontenacs, which I don't think they'll be able to.
You never know.
Even then, they will be facing the Battalion or the Bulls, which both teams are not too great. So I don't think the stuff going on behind the scenes, and this was even after Ryder quit. The stuff going on behind the scenes on this team is not good because you mentioned Bears. He's a new GM. I think he's a prospect as well. Is that correct? Is he a prospect? I don't think he is. Even if he's not, though, he's a new GM. He doesn't know what he's doing.
His AGM's a prospect.
Yeah, his AGM's a prospect, so I don't think he can.
But I'll put out there that I've had an easier time contacting his AGM than I have Bears himself. So, I mean, I know RBK is active, and...
yep, he is. I know him.
I mean, it's the only thing that slows him down is having to run everything by Bears, and I think as much as we have trouble getting them, I think he does too.
That was the same issue that they had with Ryder, so that they obviously haven't changed anything. So moving on to the next team, We have our GM here, the Kings of Frontenac, 32 points, 13, 17, and 6.
Awesome. They're an awesome team. No.
They haven't had a great week this week. They're on a 5 losing streak, so contrary to what Letang just said, they're not an awesome team. Last 10, they're 2, 4, and 4, so horrible week. What do you guys think of this team?
Still better record than Zach.
I'm gonna be real. They're allowing too many goals. I think the fact that their goaltending situation's improved. I know they had a dire goaltending situation at one point. So like Kris said earlier, with Quebec coming back, I think that's gonna help their goals against column, which will help them get some wins that they're missing by just a little.
You act like it's hard to get a better record than me. I mean, come on now. all right. So, Kris, so Chuck, what do you think of your own team besides what you said in the train wrecks?
I think that with obviously I named a new AGM. I think I already explained this. I just got left at the park. Okay, they just got in the car and left me. But
nice.
Nice, good work.
They're just driving off. All right. Anyways, I think with the puck stopper in place, he's an awesome AGM. He has minimal experience, but he's definitely doing what he needs to do. He's nonstop. He's on vacation right now, and he's still nonstop messaging me. I'm getting messages as I speak on my phone from him. So I feel like this week with the trades we made and we figured stuff out, we figured lines out, we'll be fine. Kingston's down, but definitely not out.
Well, let me ask you, Kris. It looks like I'm just looking at your roster here real quick. You picked up Lieutenant Brand from Gulf, I guess.
Look at him plugging bad FIFA.
Yes,
look at him plugging it. I see that. I got you, Rushpac.
For those who don't know, that is F5 Penguin's brother. He can play forward and defense. So I don't know where you're going to plug him in, if he's going to stay up front or not.
Yeah. We don't really know where he's going to fit in yet. We're figuring it out. I haven't got home yet. Obviously, I'm at the park, doing this interview, doing the whole CHL Nation stuff, and I feel like
how are you going to get a ride home? How are you
I don't know. It looks like I'm walking. They just got in the car and just left me. So looks like I'm walking. They were messing with me the whole show. Yep. I'm gonna call Uber, tell them come get me.
All right. So on to the next team, the Mississauga Steelheads. 33 points, 15, 18, and 3. Their last 10, they are 5, 4, and 1. So they've been improving. So what do you guys think of this team?
They're turning it around. They're turning it around slowly. I mean,
but they've gotten help from the Kings of Frontenac. I mean, come on.
They have, yeah, they have. Kingston's descent helped them out a little bit, but
yeah, there you go.
We'll see how they do with the team chasing them now, like an actual competition.
What do you mean chasing them? They're running away. What do you mean chasing?
I think Kingston's going to do better this week. We like ragging on Kris, but I think Kingston's going to do better this week.
I'm just glad I'm not getting ragged on it. I'm glad it's Kris instead of me.
They're 1 point behind, and let's be real, the Steelheads are in 7th, but they're tied for 6th.
Right.
They're tied for 6th with Oshawa. So, I mean, that's way better than they were a couple of weeks ago, so got to give them credit. They're making the changes they got to make, and we'll see what they do with the trade deadline this weekend.
All right, on to the next team. The Oshawa Generals, you mentioned them. Their GM left. No, he got banned last week. We had that whole interview. We just won't touch on that. 33 points, 16, 19, and 1. In the last 10, let's see here. In the last 10, they are 3, 6, and 1. So not an improvement from whenever P. Kris was the GM. So what do you guys think of this team?
I want to start with that because we played Oshawa this week. It was a really, really good game.
But they beat Saginaw, just like us. They beat Saginaw, by the way. Just saying.
They beat Saginaw just before our game. Then when they played us, it came down to a cross crease with 10 seconds left. It was that close of a game and an absolute pleasure to play. The guys that
stayed with that big save. Stayed with that big save.
Yeah, it was a good save. But the guys that showed up in that locker room were exactly what we want in Six's league. They were a pleasure. They were absolute gentlemen about the game. So shout out to those guys. I mean, that's
Yeah, and they even mentioned to you, Sick, that they watched the show and they're even
yeah.
asking you about stuff on your wall and stuff. So
Oh,
shout out to those guys.
it was an absolute pleasure to play those guys. Real sportsmen.
All right, so on to the next team. The next team is the Niagara Ice Dogs. What are the chances? They got 34 points, 16, 17, and 2. In the last 10, they are 5-5-0. So we're even, and we're the Ice Dogs. So that's all I have to say.
Well, let's let Kris or Rushpac take that one, so we're not too biased.
I'll take it to start.
This is not good.
The first time I talked about Niagara, first time I was on the show, I had some bad stuff to say just to mess with them. But this time, I feel like I'm going to start off good. Give you guys some props. Obviously, Snake's doing his thing.
I mean, obviously they're doing good. They called up Zach, so they're improving.
No, Zach, it was going well.
Zach, you shouldn't have just said anything. No, I'll give Snake prop. He's doing his thing. Zach, we'll talk about that later.
4 points on 3 games. Just saying.
So I definitely feel like Niagara, you guys are doing good. Obviously, if we end up not making playoffs or we make playoffs and don't make it, you guys are definitely my second choice to go all the way. I'm there right beside you guys. You guys are you're doing awesome.
That,
a lot of the teams are doing awesome. A lot of teams that didn't really expect to rebounded, and Niagara happens to be one of those teams. I definitely give you guys all props.
Appreciate that, man.
So,
no problem.
Off of the unbiased portion of the show, Snake, what do you think of your own team?
I mean, we're a solid team. We're getting hit right now with call-ups like crazy.
Yeah.
We've had probably half of our starting lineup, well, at least one guy per line called up now. So that's shaking up our lines a bit. Our guys are working.
Why'd you have to tell them that? We could just think that I'm good, and that's why I got called up. Don't think that.
Nobody's gonna think that, Zach.
No one's thinking that.
No one's gonna think that, Zach. But with the call-ups, we're getting people to fill in and trying to get chemistry. I know they're working right now with Great One, my AGM, to get some chemistry down and get the proper people where they need to be, and we're got to keep going as a team.
Snake, I've got to give you props, man, because you've had 2 dental surgeries this week, and you've been talking the entire week to our players. You've been getting the games going, and I just give you props, man.
I'm glad my dentist doesn't watch this because I'm not supposed to be talking.
Oh. All right,
let me ask Snake for a second because I'm confused. It's been almost a year and a half I've been away from the CHL now. You look like you have a lot of prospects that are called up.
Yeah, we have some. Give me 1 second. I'm just gonna look at our roster.
I've got what's that? Snoopy Kata.
Yeah, Snoopy.
Franny Hit and Nubsy.
Yeah, Franny we weren't actually using. Their GM asked if she could be called up, so we said, you know what, as long as she's getting hockey somewhere, go ahead.
Yeah, I only asked because
she's a prospect.
I was under the impression that prospects could not be called up, except for IR, which would make them still eligible to play for you if you needed them.
Yeah, Franny at the moment we didn't have a spot on the line for her, so we let her go. Nubsy's been gone all year. We got him.
Wait, is Franny called up permanently? Or just like on an IR thing?
I believe she's called up permanently.
How do you do that as a prospect?
No, it could be. Is it a possible glitch? I think because of the way they did the whole draft this year, that I think some people are listed as prospects that aren't actually prospects.
I think Nubsy, that's his case, because he got placed on my roster with a call-up symbol. And he's a prospect, so I think that's what happened there.
Kris Letang, tell him to stop. We don't want to be like the other show. Tell him to stop. Tell him to stop, okay? Don't do that little finger thing. No, stop. Okay?
The show which shall not be named.
Yeah.
Shout out to Major.
Shout out to Major. On to the next team, the Sudbury Wolves. We don't like this team. They overtook us, but we're going to mention them anyways. 35 points, 16, and 3. In the last 10, they are 5-3-2, so they're doing pretty good. What do you guys think of this team?
Well, I mean, they've come from low in the standings in the past couple of weeks. They've jumped back up. They're a competitive team. As it stands right now, it looks like we play them in the series, and I know my locker room would love a Sudbury-Niagara series. I think it would be great hockey. They've been a solid team for the last couple of weeks, so I'd really enjoy playing against a team like that.
Okay, so on to the next team, the Peterborough Petes, 51 points, 25, 10, and 1. That's pretty good. I was talking to my team about overtaking them. It just looks like a possibility. In the last 10, they are 8-2-0, so they're not only a good team,
They're on fire.
they're improving. So what do you guys think of this team?
I mean, they're up there with Belleville, and I mean, I think that was their goal all season long.
Right.
All season it was North Bay and Belleville up at the top, and the Peach just wanting to be up there and play with the big guys, and I think they made it up there.
And they're only 2 points behind Belleville, so they're looking good.
That's it. They're right up there. So I mean, they're a force to be reckoned with right now.
Yeah, there's one player on that roster I really like, Johnny Sods. He's listed right now as a center. I know for a fact he can play any of the 3 positions and play them well.
Goodbye.
No, sorry, my speaker turned off.
When I was a Season 4 GM...
Why would you think this is CHL The Zone? Why? Why would you think that?
I got my invites confused. I don't know. That's why I dressed up. I thought this was in the zone. If I remembered that I was on CHL Nation, I just would have wore my white beater tank top and then...
Oh.
How could you, man? That's like... that touches the heart, man. Our old boss did that. Dang, dude.
I'm not your boss.
Now I know where we stand. Goodness.
But no, Sods, I had him Season 4, my GM season. He was the most expensive player I put a bid in on. He was a $4 million defenseman for me, and this was before the prospect rule, so I lost him in the preseason and never got him back. So I know he can play, and I know he can play every position well. So that's definitely a guy to watch for that team.
Kris Letang, you're not talking. I know this is off topic, but I thought they left you, man.
They did. They just came back. I was texting them, and they were like, "We're going to Sheets," and then they decided that they weren't going to Sheets because they were just trying to think I'd react crazy.
They should have left there because they're being a distraction.
Yeah.
They're distracting our panelists,
pretty
man.
Distracting. In a good way, I guess.
All right,
so not get killed here.
We won't touch that. We won't touch on that subject. All right, on to the next team. The Belleville Bulls, 53 points, 24, 7, and 5. The first week they were undefeated. They kind of fell off a bit, overtaken by the Battalion. But the Bulls in the last 10, they are 5, 4, and 1. So they're not improving. And I think by the end of the season, I think the Petes will be in the number 2 spot. What do you guys think of this team?
I wouldn't count them out yet. I think they're.
True.
I mean, North Bay's taking off ahead of everybody, so we can't really compare that. Compare them to any other team in the league now, and even if you compare them to the Western Conference, Erie's the only one that's getting near them right now. So I mean, I think we over compare them to the Battalion, and that's so they're kind of getting the raw end of the deal, but they're a solid team. Not a team I'd want a playoff series against, that's for sure. So
right.
I'd hate to be in Kingston's position, battling for that 7th, 8th position.
Yeah.
Maybe playing against Belleville or North Bay. That might be a tough one, bud.
Yeah, it's not gonna be easy. So we need to definitely get out of that spot because they're a good team. So we don't want to. That's definitely not the team we want to play first round. And if we did, we'd play them with every ounce of talent we have.
Kris, you gotta tell them to stop, dude. Like we don't need distractions. They're doing that little leaf thing. No, stop.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I can't help it.
All right, so on to the next team, the Battalion. I mean, what can you say about this team? They're unstoppable. 63 points, 31, 4, and 1. So only 5 losses in the entire season. The last
Zach,
10.
I think you have a theory for that, don't you?
What?
Didn't you mention a theory about North Bay?
What? What are you talking about? Talk about my dingus of the week? Talk about my dingus? What are you talking about?
Yeah, it has something to do with your dingus of the week a little bit.
we won't touch on that later. We'll touch on that later.
All right, we'll touch on it later. Fair enough.
But I wasn't finished yet. So they've only lost 5 in the entire season, and the last 10 they're 10-0-0. But they have the longest win streak in the entire league, 14 wins. So they haven't been stopped. I mean, the only team that probably could beat them is the Bulls, and they're not beating them. So what do you guys think of this team?
They're on fire right now. I mean, we had a game against them on Thursday that was an interesting game. I'll let you get into that one earlier. But right now, I mean, nobody's catching North Bay. They're going to finish in first. I think it's pretty much a lock at this point. What else can you say? They're strong offensively, defensively, and in net. So it's going to be hard for teams to match up against this team and try and squeeze wins out, because once they kick up the pace on you, they kick up the pace. They're all over you. They pin you in your zone, and you can't do anything about it. And that's North Bay. That's the way they've been all season. If you give them the opportunity, they're going to pin you down.
You know what? I was gonna save this for my Diggers of the Week, but it's just killing me. I need to say it, okay? So
Get it out. Let it out.
this is taking nothing away from North Bay as a team. They are amazing. They are a good team. But on Thursday, all right, they put their top line against our third line, okay? And you would expect them to just crush us. We lose by 2. Like, what is that? Okay, why would you put your first... Okay. You put your first line in 3 games. That's what you should do. 3 games, all right? Against the Battalion, against the Petes, and against Erie, or another team in the top in the West. Not against Niagara, okay? We had our third line out and outplayed you the entire game. Just saying. Just saying.
The line matchups, I mean, a few teams do this. I'm not going to call any specific team out, but I know a few teams do this on the regular. Chris, you could probably back me up on this.
Yeah.
I don't want to call it scrub hunting, but I mean that's basically what it is. First
that's what it
third
is.
Line.
And I think the worst scrub hunting is scrub hunting against Zach. That's the worst scrub hunting you can do.
It's in any case, though, it's unfortunate to see in league, because you expect competitive hockey and your players expect competitive hockey, and then to have that happen, it's unfortunate. I mean, and it happens too much, I think, in league right now.
Yeah, you know, it definitely happens. You know, you see, especially in the summer season, whenever you get accused of scrub hunting, that's usually your first attempt at defense is, you know, the ability they're giving me, you know, but you know which GMs do it and you know which ones don't.
Yeah.
Okay. So on to the West, starting from the bottom, I think, you know, these bottom 2 teams, I think, I don't even want to talk about them. They're staying the Spitfires. They're in the bottom of a lackluster conference. Just not even gonna talk about them. And I also talk about the Storm as well. My train wrecks. We'll skip them as well. Onto the Knights. Onto the Knights. 37 points, 17, 16, and 3. So not doing the greatest. In the last 10, they're 5, 4, and 1. So they're improving. What do you guys think about the Knights?
The Knights. They're an underrated team, I think. The times our teams played against them, they've been tough opponents. So I mean, I think we say, well, they're at the bottom of or mid-level of their conference, bottom mid anyway. But they're still a tough team. I don't think it's over in that conference. They could move around a little bit, but they're still a solid team.
Yeah.
Chris, man, you're having an issue with background noise, man, and
Yeah.
I think
like I said.
you should mute your mic whenever you're not talking. So.
Got you. I got you. Yeah.
All right. So on to the next team. On the next team, the Rangers, 39 points, 18, 15, and 3. The last 10, they're 6-3-1. That's not too bad. Not too bad. So what do you guys think of this team? That was a pretty good week. Yep.
Yeah, I know they're still making some minor moves, trying to get ready for playoffs. I think they're going to stay pretty much where they are right now. I don't think they're going to move up, but I don't think they're going to move down. So yeah.
Snake man, you're really pulling through in the CHL Media, CHL Nation, CHL Analyst position.
Do what I do, dude.
Yeah, you're definitely good at being an analyst.
Thanks, Kris.
Anytime.
All right. On to the next team. This is a team was second. No. This was a team that I thought in the first week would have been pretty good. Their GM knows what he's doing, but they're not pulling it through. 42 points, 20-14-2. I mean, I act like it's bad, but it's not. I mean, I just expected more out of them. In the last 10, they're 5-4-1. That's not too bad. So what do you guys think of this team?
I mean, the Whalers they're a tough team to play. I'm going to be honest. The Whalers I found were a tough opponent. I think it depends what line you play. Their top line is very solid. The other lines maybe not so much, but the top line's definitely a strong line. So I mean, it's going to be hard for them to compete against teams like the Greyhounds and the Otters. I mean, Erie right now.
Let alone teams in the East as well, like top teams in the East.
I'm thinking just playoff-wise.
Right.
Some competition's going to be hard, Owen Sound, the Greyhounds especially. So we'll see. We'll see where they go from here. They're right behind Owen Sound, so this week will tell us a lot.
All right, so on to the next team. This is a team that was second a few weeks ago. They're 45. They have 45 points. 22-13-1. In the last 10, they're 5-5-0, so pretty even. But a few weeks ago, they were way better than that. I'm talking about the Owen Sound attack. I think the Owen Sound attack. So what do you guys think of this team?
I mean, they're still doing. They're doing well. They're right behind Saginaw ahead of them. So, I mean, what can you say? Keep going. Just keep doing what you're doing right now. And they gotta squeeze more wins out of the higher teams, the leading teams. If they can do that, they're gonna shoot ahead really quick. They're only 4 points behind the third place team, 3 points behind the fourth place teams. 1 point behind the third place team and 4 points behind the second place team, so they can move up fairly quickly with a good week this week.
Okay, so on to the next team. Like I said, a team that's I'm talking about the Saginaw Spirit. A few weeks ago, they were in their first place. They were looking good, and they've just been declining ever since. B Major, he's a GM. He knows what he's doing. He's been here for like 3 seasons, I think. Yeah. They've got 46 points, 21-11-4. In the last 10, they're 4-4-2, so definitely not good. They could improve. What do you guys think of this team?
I think they had a really rough week this week. They lost to Oshawa. They lost to Zach.
Yeah.
Kingston.
Hold on, wait. You guys think that's hard? You guys think that's bad? Like, look.
I mean, they did have to play against me.
Saginaw,
fair enough. I give you that they have to play against me.
Hold on. Saginaw is a good team, okay? They just got a horrible matchup against Zach. He scored 2 goals in a game winner. I mean, there's nothing you could do.
They need to capitalize more on their chances. I mean, we played against B Major himself on the wing, and he created a lot of scoring chances that they just didn't put in the net. So, I mean, if they can fix that, they're going to be back in first place quickly.
I'll throw this out to the analyst. A lot of times, maybe a team will get taken not as serious as they should be early in the season, and B Major was coming off of a CHL GM of the Year award for last place team. I don't know if it's possible that maybe his team wasn't getting top lines early in the season, and maybe they're getting them now since their record was good.
Yeah, that could be.
I feel like, I mean, talking on BMAG, you mentioned him, he got GM of the Year award. Me and him have talked for like the past, I don't know, ever since he was my co-host. We've been good friends, best friends almost. And he's mentioned that the only reason why he's still down here is because every single season he's gotten horrible teams, he's not gotten the Memorial Cup, not gone far in the playoffs. And that's the only reason why he's not an AHL GM, because he's gotten offers from AHL owners, or NHL owners, sorry, that want him GMing their AHL team. So it's not that he's bad, it's just the teams that he puts together don't, I mean, I hate to say this, but like most of the teams that he's gotten don't like the fact that he is a younger GM, like they don't like authority, and the fact that he is younger as well makes it even worse. So I think that he will do better in the AHL than he's doing down here because of the maturity level. AHL players are more mature. That's not saying CHL. I mean, I'm not talking about all CHL players. I know that might be what I'm saying. It's just the AHL players have been around the league more. They've witnessed
a little bit more, yeah.
Yeah. So.
I was gonna touch. I'll touch on the subject real quick. About Saginaw. I think I like B Major. He's good. But I was gonna actually touch on the fact that the younger GM thing. Yeah, it is. I know throughout the season. This season we've had problems with the GM. Some of them posted in the management forum saying, "Hey, my team's not respecting me because I'm a younger GM." The only thing I have to say is I'm under 18 as well. It is hard, you know. Obviously, it's not easy to get your team.
No, but I think what I'm saying is like the quote unquote squeakers who have like a voice like me or Major, and they don't like that they're getting the person making their lines and making strategies and stuff is a 12, 13-year-old.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I actually have to pretty much. I understand fully. You know, like the whole quote unquote squeaker thing, right? So, pretty much, you know, what I have to say to those GMs, if your team is being like that, you know, just go to the league, man. Don't go to the PA. Don't ruin your fun because they want to be rude.
Okay,
so Zeno, I know Zeno was great with helping the younger GMs that had trouble this year. Kris mentioned a post earlier in the management forum, and I saw that Zeno was on top of that fairly quickly. I don't know where the story went from there, so that's probably a sign that it was taken care of. So I know Zeno's on that. So guys, message Zeno, like he's the guy to go to.
And I think it may be like an issue with the fact that the CHL is like your place if you want to be a GM. You have to go to the CHL first, and a lot of the prospects coming into the league do not like inexperienced young GMs, and that's the issue. I think that's the issue with prospects coming in. They don't like, oh, wait a minute, in this league, I'm getting bossed around by a 12-year-old. What the heck, you know?
Yeah.
So, on to the next team. We kind of got off topic a little bit there, but the Greyhounds, they got 49 points, 23, 9-3. In the last 10, they're 7-3-0, so they are improving, overtaking the top 3 teams of a few weeks ago. So what do you guys think of this team?
Greyhounds are strong right now. It's going to be interesting, the fight for... I mean, it's more interesting in the West, the fight for first place, than it is in the East right now.
You look at the East, and it's just like, oh, look at these 3 teams. The Battalion, the Bulls, and the Petes. That's the East right there. But, like... in the West, like, starting from...
8-point difference between 1 and 5.
Yeah, starting from the Knights all the way up is just interesting. It's all close. Anything... Like, I think that's the reason why these teams that we talk about so highly, they're so good. They just have... They have an off night, and they move down, like, 3 spots.
Exactly.
So,
exactly. Yeah, 8 points difference between the first-place Otters and the fifth-place Whalers. So, I mean, 1 week can change the entire dynamic of the Western Conference right now.
One night can.
Yeah, that's it. And the Greyhounds are strong right now. They got to keep doing what they've been doing all season long. They've been getting better and better and better. I can't wait to see who's going to finish first in the West.
I feel like we've pretty much counted the West out, but like that they're building some strong teams in that conference now. I think it's safe to say that they could beat some of the teams like a Wolves, like a
Absolutely.
So on to the next team, the Erie Otters. They are the first place team. Last week they were third place. So
I want to just give a little shout out to Nylander, because he did say last week on the show that he was going to pass a few other teams. It seemed a little cocky at the time, but he did it. I mean, he's in first place.
I also want to give him a shout out because I think it was like Saturday, something like that. We had right after the show. I think if I remember correctly, right after the show, they were supposed to have a scrim against G Storm, and they contacted Snake about it, and we actually got a scrim together. And I want to give him a shout out. So because I played good in that game, and he liked my performance. So I give him a shout out. So on to the next.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what? It was a good scrim against that team. We played Erie in 3 games. I believe we won 1 and lost the last 2 1-goal games. It was good hockey all around. So I got to give him credit. He's got a good team.
50 points, 23-9-4. Last 10 they are 9-1-0. They are just killing it in the West. So.
But that's what we were saying. In the West, 1 week can change it all. 9-1-0. That was their week. That was the week they had to have to take the top, and that's what they did.
Right. What are you saying, Rush?
No, I was just going to comment on Nylander. He was actually my CHL GM last season before I got called up. He definitely went through some growing pains as a GM last season. He had a veteran AGM in Nutty Grandpa, but he definitely tinkered with his roster way too much last season. I don't know if that's something he's done again this season, or if he's maybe given guys more of a chance than he did last season. But whatever he's doing this year, it's working much better than it did last season.
Right.
Yeah, he's kept a core of his team pretty much the whole season. He's moved for some key pieces, but otherwise he's kept the core of his team, and they've been solid.
Yeah, and I think not having me on the roster at $4.25 million is probably helping him too.
The roster cap, I'll be honest, it's been great this year, not having to worry about that. Last year, I know defense cost my team a lot, and that was really rough. But not having the cap and the draft idea really helped with that. I think it's a lot less for managers to have to deal with.
The draft could have improvements, but I think for the most part it was a good idea.
Yeah.
So on to the next topic. We mentioned all the teams. This changes every week. I'm telling you guys. Our teams coming out of the West, teams coming out of the East, and the team that wins it all. And we're coming to that point next week. Next week, guys, is the week, the last week before the playoffs. So if you're a GM, if you're a player, step up, be a leader, get that seed that you want, and maybe you could. I mean, we talk about all these good teams, and they could get cocky and lose. That's happened every single year. Every single year, these top teams, they put, this team's horrible. Let's put our third line in these first 2 games. They lose those, and then they just lose the series. So I know that was kind of off topic. I don't know what I was doing there, but.
Yo, Zach, if you don't mind, real quick, I actually have to go. My phone's gonna die, guys. But I'll do my teams real quick. I don't want to be basic and everything, obviously, but my teams that I have, obviously, I'm gonna say the battalion is gonna take it all. But I definitely feel like Belleville will definitely give them a run for their money. So, I actually have to go. My phone's going to die. I tried to do my best, obviously.
Who's your dingus? Who's your dingus of the week?
My dingus of the week. I'm definitely going to have to go with the people in the Action Center. Guys, I've seen 7 different Action Center things where it has said, dismissed, need proof. Put your proof in. It's not hard. Just to have proof of your actions. That's all I got to say. It's been all season. I've seen nothing but dismissed Action Centers. Just proof. Just get proof, guys. That's all I got to say.
All right, see you later, Chris.
I'll talk to you guys later. It's been fun. It's been real.
Take care, buddy.
All right, see you later.
You too.
right, so Snake, Rushpac, who do you have come out of the East and the West? I mean, you look up from the AHL, but I mean, you probably have a good idea.
Well, first of all, I look down from the AHL. Let's get that straight. I look down.
I knew he was going to catch that.
Tell you what, I'm going to go with an all CHL Media final. I want the Niagara Ice Dogs against the Saginaw Spirits.
Yes. That would be an amazing series.
And who do you have taking it all? Who do you have taking it?
North Bay Battalion.
Wait, but you said
what I want and what will happen are two different things.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'll give you that.
Alright,
as for my teams, I'm gonna go with obviously the North Bay Battalion to take it all because I mean right now they look unstoppable. But the team to look out for that I'd like to throw out this week is Peterborough Petes. Nope, the Peterborough Petes out of the East. I think that right now they're pushing to overtake Belleville. I think they might do that this week and take the second spot. So look out for them. As for the Western Conference, I'm going to go with Saginaw because I think Mage had a rough week this week, but he knows how to turn a team around and get them back on track, so I think he's going to do that. I know some of his I looked at the rosters, some of his called-up players seem to be back. So that's definitely going to help him to get things back in order. I think they're going to move back up this week.
So my team from the East, I mean, it's a race up there in the top 3 position. I mean, the Bulls need to step it up, and the Petes, they need to keep doing what they're doing. But I think the Battalion is just they're unstoppable, and I think that they're on a 14-win streak, and I don't think anyone's gonna take them I don't think anyone. I mean, they're just a top team.
They're very strong.
They're very strong. They're unstoppable. They're gonna take the East, but from the West, I mean, my sleeper team is the Spirit. I mean, they have a chance, but I have to go Erie. I have to. I mean, or the Greyhounds could pose a threat, but I think Erie is just too strong of a team. They're probably gonna get the West, but just
that
so you
conference,
know,
anything can happen.
Just so you know, my sleeper team is a Spirit. So if they go up to that first spot this week, I told you so. So
Zach's covering all of his bases that way.
So I think the team that'll take it, I think, will be the Battalion. They're too strong of a team. But on to everyone's.
I'll tell you what, Zach, real quick. I'll tell you guys a real quick story for all the guys that are new to the league or have only been maybe 2 seasons in. I apologize. I don't know exactly when you guys joined. Season 4, we had the Kamloops Blazers.
Yep, there you go.
Your Breck-Easies, your Peg Leg Peach, your Snow Studs, your Bocasmos, your Zaris. I don't think they took their first regular season
You're bringing back memories, Rush.
I think it was week 4 they got their first loss of the season. We beat them in like week 6. We acted like we won the cup that night. It was like their third loss of the season. They did not win the Memorial Cup. Okay? I want to tell all of you guys that right now. They did not win the Memorial Cup. In fact, they almost lost in the first round. They got pushed to 7 games by the C team. So, North Bay, they may look unstoppable, but when it comes to the playoff, when you can line match, to summer, sometimes availability gets a little iffy. Anything can happen.
There you go. So, but on to everyone's favorite part of the show. Kris Letang mentioned his earlier. Shout out to Steak. He mentioned this topic a few weeks ago. That's how he got it started. We're talking about the Dingus of the Week.
The Dingus of the Week.
Don't you have a soundboard effect for that?
No, I decided not to do a soundboard for Dingus.
Come on.
I had one, but it sounded too mean, so I decided not to.
All right, Rushpac, who's your Dingus of the Week?
I am going with Fourth Line Worthy for picking up a 1-week suspension for, quote from the Action Center, lying to get sent down. He's very active on Twitter. Used to be active. I'm pretty sure that I guess he's friends with the GM of the team he got sent down to, the 7th Defense.
Yeah,
but I will read you a tweet of his. I believe it's his account. from July 7th. Playing in the AHL and finally proving myself is great, but I think the CHL is more fun, and I miss the CHL along with my Whalers. Well, fourth line, you get your Whalers back, but you don't get to play for a week. Or didn't get to play for a week, I guess, right?
Bang bang, shots fired. All right, go ahead, Stick.
I decided to change my dingus at the last minute. I'm gonna go with I'm going to be a little vague about this one. We've made some trades throughout the season, this season and last, to
No, let it all out. Let it all out, Snake. Let it all out.
Yeah, to hook relatives up, especially brothers, cousins that want to play together. So I know that some GMs are trying to trade rape to make that happen, and so
let
they're
it
going
all
to be
out, Snake. Mention names. Come on, let's go. We want it all. Let's go.
Fair enough. I'm going to go with Ottawa Management for Dingus of the Week. For trying to trade rape teams to get brothers hooked up. They know they want brothers on the same team, and that the brothers want to play together, and make it difficult to hook that up. And I think that's exactly what we don't want in CHL. We don't want prospect players that just signed up to their first experience to be of bad relations with managers. I think that's important in CHL. So that's my dingus of the week, Ottawa Management.
My dingus of the week, I don't think it's going to come to a surprise of anyone. Nazem Kadri, the GM of the battalion. I mean, what can I say? He put his first line against our Niagara's third line. I was on that line. The line let me get 2 assists. Okay, it was looking like we were gonna win until they scored like 3 straight. I think, is that correct?
Yeah,
I think
penalties scored 3 straight.
Penalties killed us. I mean, look. If you're gonna put your first line against third line of a mid-table team, like a team in the middle of the standings, at least destroy them. Like, if you're the first place team, you put on your first line against a mid-table team, third line. Like,
it's a second line. It's a second line game. I mean, you're playing a mid-table team with the stats that you have right now. There's no reason to play the top line against that team unless you're trying to get 2 free points.
I just,
it's frustrating.
If you're gonna do that, man, at least tell your players to try to win the game. I mean, they won the game, sure, because they're a good team, and we made mistakes that we shouldn't have. But at the end of the day, like, they weren't too hard to stop. I got like 3 poke checks in that game. Just saying.
Yeah, you gotta not be matching up your lines like that. I think that's important for GMs to, and I mean a lot of GMs don't do that, and I don't want anyone to think that that's what I'm saying, but there are a select few, and I think everyone knows who those managers are, like Rushpac said earlier. There's a few, and it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. I mean, I don't know how we can eliminate that from the game, to be honest.
Okay, so that's pretty much going to wrap up our show. Is there anything else that you guys wanted to say before we wrap it up?
I don't know. We'll let our guest rush back.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was that?
Is there anything else you want to talk about?
No. Like I said, I apologize. I do want to give the CHL Media a big shout out. Both shows, not only great work but consistent work, which is all we can ask for. I can't tell you how frustrating it is for a show to come and go after 2 weeks. So I want to thank you guys, because I know, like I said, we're all here for fun. We're all here as a volunteer. Sometimes, we push things aside to do stuff like this. So to everyone who's been doing media stuff all season, just, thank you, and it's going to be really exciting next season.
I just want to say before we go to the nation, thank you for all the messages, comments, questions, suggestions. We wouldn't be as successful as we are as a show without you guys doing all of that, and it really makes a difference. It motivates us to make the show better. So keep that coming.
I want to give a shout out to the nation as well. The people who watch our shows, like the full show, it's like we've been here for like an hour almost, and we have 9 viewers watching the show live. So I give a shout out to the people who are watching it live as well. This is our first try at a live show. I think it was a success.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
So you just butchered it.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
That killed it.
Okay, for the CHL Media Liaison, Rushpac, for the CHL panelist who left, Kris Letang, for the honorary CHL host, the CHL Analyst, Snake 4413. It's Video Boy Zach here, and we're out. Thank you guys for watching.